Hello and welcome back to the Transform You podcast.
I'm Nelia,
And I'm Paula.
and today we're going to be talking about goal setting and manifesting your dreams.
So you might want to grab a wee bit of pen and paper because by the end of this episode we're going to give you everything you need to succeed, tried and tested by us.
Oh, hi.
Lovely. So the reason we wanted to do a episode on goal setting and manifesting just now is because start of the year, January, new year, new me, we're not about that life. But we do recognise that actually it's a good time for motivation and maybe people are setting goals and stuff just now. So just because it's a new year does not mean that you need to start goals. I know that loads of people are jumping on the bandwagon. However, if your circumstances don't allow you to actually start a New Year's resolution or setting new goals, like you can absolutely start whenever you want. So your circumstances might change. Maybe you're a single parent. Maybe you aren't in a financial position just now to even start a sort of big goal. So just remember that you can come back to this episode at any time because you can start and set new goals whenever you want.
Love it. Mm-hmm. Love it.
So first point for setting goals is to be very clear and be very specific.
Yeah, I think when you're goal setting, it's so easy to just write this long list of like, I want to start running, I want to lose weight, just these vague goals that, let's be real, you're not going to do because you don't know how you're going to do them. Mm-hmm. Like, they're not specific enough. So realistically, when you go to do them, how?
Yeah, there's no
How
plan.
are you going to do them?
And also, I feel like ones like that are far too much pressuring yourself instead of actually saying to yourself, okay, what is it that I actually want? Like, not what do other people think that I should do? Like, if other people maybe think that you should sign yourself up to some run that you don't want to do, or some people might think that you have to gain or lose some weight. But if you're actually doing it for you, then that's different. So I think what you need to do at the start is say your goals out loud. And I don't mean running down Sucky Hall Street and screaming, I'm going to be doing a half marathon.
If you want them.
Absolutely, go for it.
I'll be supporting you.
Neil, you'll be there with a sign.
Hot girls run.
Hot girls run. So by all means, do that. But what I actually mean by that is tell a pal, tell your partner, someone you trust, or if you don't want to tell anyone, write it down in a diary, because that is you still putting it out there to the universe, putting it out there to yourself, keeping yourself accountable. Like, this is what it is that I'm going to do. And if it is a half marathon, right, I am going to run the Glasgow half marathon next October.
I think also something else that you can do is just say it to yourself in the mirror.
Yes.
Love it. Which, by the way, is hard.
Yep. It is very uncomfortable at the start. And even for now, for me, I would say I'm like, oh God, Paula, that's already, and would laugh at myself. But it does work.
It does. Sometimes now, like some of my goals, some of my dreams, I say to myself in the mirror and I'm like, what am I doing? But I do it. And then the more I do it, the more I get comfortable with it. I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
she's doing it.
That's really good for like self-love and self-acceptance as well. Like, I think that actually is a really nice thing to do. Yeah. But equally could be really uncomfortable. We'll get you to that point.
Work up to it.
So once you've decided exactly what it is that you want, so you've put it out there, this is exactly what I want, this is what I want to achieve, you need to be feeling really good about it and be feeling really excited about it. Because if you're not feeling good or excited about it, then let's be honest, within the first week, you're going to be scunnered and whatever it is just going to be right out the window.
Yeah. It's gone.
Yeah, that's it. Like, and it's never coming back until next
She's
year.
Gone.
Next year it'll be back, and you'll still be like, oh God. That's another thing though. See if there's a goal that keeps coming up every single year, but you've never achieved it. Maybe bin that goal because you're just like, or change the method. But I mean, maybe it's just something that you really don't want to do. Like, so for years, actually, I did have a half marathon on my goal list. But for years, I actually didn't want to do it. I just was wanting to do it because other people expected me to do it, or other people were like trying to like force me to do it. It wasn't until I was like, I'm doing this for me.
Because you want to.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
not to like try and impress anybody or feeling the pressure from everybody else who's doing it. Like, until I really wanted to do it for me, that was just a goal every year. New Year's resolution, half marathon.
Mate, that's like, so mine was always every single year, lose weight. Like
We've all been there.
every fucking year, lose weight.
So
this
sad.
year, I'm going to lose weight.
Yeah.
But actually, it was more about how I wanted to feel.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And
Totally.
as soon as I like binned the Fitbit, binned the scales, binned all that, and didn't focus on actually the weight and all of that shite,
Yeah.
it was just, how do I want to feel? And started journaling about it and doing all that. It was, I started losing the weight.
Yeah, because you're
And,
doing things that you enjoy.
Yeah, changed the goal. So if the same goal is coming up every year, so like losing weight, actually maybe think about what that actually means to you.
Yes.
Every year that was coming up, and I think I was like, oh, I need to lose weight because people are looking at me thinking I'm fat.
Yeah.
People are like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not what the goal was.
No, I feel like everyone has had that in their goal list at some point, and I'd say I've been the exact same as you. That was a goal of mine for years. And actually, I couldn't lose any weight because I was already like a size fucking 8 or something like that. Like, it was actually, I
And you
couldn't
shouldn't.
lose any weight. And yeah, I didn't want to. For me, again, it was like feeling societal pressures and things like that and comparing yourself to people. It wasn't actually until I, again, like you, started to say, how do I want to feel? How do I want to show up? What do I want to be doing every single day? And finding things that I actually enjoyed. So if weight loss is a goal, change it up to that. What is it you want to feel like? And then it'll come because you start taking actions that actually align with you and that you actually enjoy. Okay, so second point, we're moving on from that. So once you've been very specific, been very clear, saying it out loud, you then need to start breaking it down. You need to be dividing it into sections. For example, in my diaries, I have maybe one for lifestyle or money, relationships, jobs. Like, break it down. It could be absolutely anything. You can dive really deep into this to like very specific things like holiday, car, you know, maybe put them in like adventure, miscellaneous or something like that. Start breaking it down, and then once you break it down, you can then have subheadings or like micro goals.
Love that. Love that.
Because they're the things that make the difference. They're the things where it becomes a daily habit, a daily routine. And those are those wee 1% every single day that will get you to that goal. You're not just going to wake up tomorrow and be 5 stone light, or if that's what you want to be, or you're not going to wake up tomorrow and run a half marathon if you can't even run 1 kilometre.
It's those micro goals that come into like the boring everyday, those really shit days that you wake up and you're like, I can't be arsed.
Yeah.
But you've achieved a micro goal.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
that makes you feel good.
Yeah, it is. And I think the thing when you're developing new habits and routines as well, changing up sort of what you've done before. So if you know before that not leaving your trainers out to go for a run, like that's not worked before, then maybe start leaving them out. Like if you've never tried that method, leave them out. It might not work. It might not even work for you, but try different methods. There's so many other ways that you can try and do it instead of just waking up in the morning and being like, oh, I can't be arsed going for this run. If that is one of your goals.
But see, even just saying that, like, can't be arsed going for the run. Change the way you speak to yourself. if that's a goal, like, change the way you speak to yourself.
But yeah, sometimes maybe you just need to start a bit smaller or dig a wee bit deeper as to why is this not working. And if you have got like really negative self-talk, starting to deal with that as well, like by trying different things that can actually help with that, which we're actually going to talk about in a wee bit. So wait for that. What to remember as well. Oh, let me drop in a wee word of wisdom. Never limit your goals, because limited goals equal a limited life.
Love that.
Think about that, because if you aren't actually writing down, I want to drive a Lamborghini, right? I don't want to drive a Lamborghini. Say that's what you want to do because you think it'll make you happy. It won't.
It's not going to bring you happiness, girls.
If that's your goal, go for it, right? Write it down. If you genuinely have that feeling in your head, like you're I really, really want a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Write it down. Be that person who drives a Lamborghini though. That's what you need to then become.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Don't aim high, dream big.
Yeah, definitely. Like limited goals, limited life.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
That is wise.
Which moves us on to the third point, which is you really need to start getting excited about your goals. So again, imagining whatever it is that you want. If it is, for example, a half marathon, start to really get excited about the feeling that you're going to have when you cross that finish line. Start to get excited about the feeling that you're going to get of feeling so proud of yourself for finally doing it.
Yeah, you have to step in to this person that you are becoming and that you are going to be. Like, fake it till you make it.
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
You have to get excited about it, how you're going to feel when you achieve that goal.
Yeah.
Become that person now.
Yeah.
And don't be embarrassed about it.
Yeah. And
just
some
embrace
more
it.
wise words.
Like, love it and start living that right now.
Yeah.
Because that is the way you're going to achieve it.
Yep. And I feel like some people can get really or feel really uncomfortable when it's like that because they're thinking this isn't me, but it is you. You're just obviously, it's who you want to be. So if that is who you want to be, then deep down that actually is you. Maybe you've just been held back by toxic people or toxic work environments, or actually maybe you've been held back by yourself, by those thoughts running completely wild. And obviously there's different reasons for all that stuff, but yeah, you just need to start getting yourself to that place of being that person.
So for example, me and Paula starting this podcast, we knew that we're podcasters.
Yeah.
And that is in our mind before we even started.
Well, that's it.
And we have been visualizing, we have been embracing this person of we're just podcasters.
Yeah. And that's, but like you said, but the visualization, we've actually set this wee place up exactly what this was the vision that we had.
This is exactly how we visualized
we're
it.
Right, cozy in the sofa, some blankets. If you're watching, you'll see what we're talking about here. But
pink and green.
Literally everything. And that's what you need to do. So for visualization, it's really important for manifesting. So if you're trying to get on the manifesting train, you need to be visualizing. So how do we get good at visualizing? We get good at visualizing through meditation and through journaling. Also through actually giving yourself that wee bit of time to find your wee creative edge again. But for me, I would say the big thing that helped me with visualization was journaling and meditating. They were the two main things for me.
Journaling has been the biggest game changer for me in my journey.
Yep.
And just writing down everything and visualizing it, feeling feeling how I'm going to feel when I achieve my goals, it just helps you.
Yeah, it does. And I think with journaling, we can do a full other podcast on that, and we will.
And we will.
Because there's so many different ways of doing it. There's so many different styles. And I think it's playing about with it until you find a style that suits you. So I know, obviously, we've discussed this in the past, that we have different styles. So I know that for me, I'm very matter of a fact with my journaling. So my wee routine that I would do would be, I am grateful for this. And I fill the page with everything I'm grateful for. And I try and change it every single day so that I'm not just repeating it. Because then when you're thinking of new things all the time, you actually are being like, oh, but also sitting down and feeling that gratitude. So not just writing down the words and then running away, actually sitting there, embracing it, being in the moment and being like, oh, feeling really, really good. And that obviously ties into feeling excited and things about your goal. But another way I would say the whole journaling thing works for me is if I have stuff in my brain, I just want to dump it down. I literally just will write every single word that comes to my head and put it down in paper, which can obviously help with goals as well, but that can help if you are feeling stressed or overwhelmed. Just say, for example, things aren't going maybe the way you wanted it. As soon as you brain dump that, it kind of makes it a bit clearer for you to see, okay, where am I going wrong here? What is it that's, coming up? And you can sort of analyse it.
Just really seeing it on paper. Yeah. Just seeing the words on paper sometimes just helps you reflect, and just seeing it on paper is just it's a way to fix it,
challenge your own thoughts as well. Yeah.
Whereas see me with journaling, I'm a bit more romantic with it. I like to romanticize my life.
My life is a rom-com.
It literally is though, because I like to do the movie script method.
Yeah, love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I will do that all the time.
Uh-huh.
And I will write. Have you ever done it?
You know me, like
She loves a Dear Diary, but
yeah, but not
too much.
not the rom-com. Like I feel like that is totally you, and that's totally Alicia.
It is.
Hi Alicia, if you're listening. I feel like you two are like poets
We love it.
and I'm not. Like
We literally can't get enough.
so I'm telling myself that I'm not a poet, right? But that's fine for me. I don't ever want to be a poet. But you and Alicia are like those, like you just have that whole cutesy girly lovely
You
thing.
love it.
And I can imagine you sitting there getting right into it,
Yeah.
thinking that your life's a movie. And I love
It
that.
is.
I think that's
Like I will
fucking
start
amazing.
off and I will write off my whole scene,
Yes.
which is my goal and my
You can tell you done
and
drama
I'm-
at school.
Oh, aye.
And I didn't.
And I'm achieving my goal
Like,
and
love
I'm writing
that.
it as a scene. Yeah.
Oh, main character vibes.
Oh, aye.
I feel like Megan would really like that
I think she would.
because she's always like, do it for the plot. Main character
Megan,
vibes.
if you're listening, you better give it a go.
Get that right in your diary.
Megan,
right now.
writing.
But that is nice, and that's it. Like, so it's nice to hear it from different perspectives. So some people listening might be like, love that about the story and the movie script, whereas other people might be like, no, I'm more matter of fact as well. And so that's it. Like, just always trying out different methods to see what's right for you. I think
Yeah.
that is so important because you can listen to a million podcasts and read a million self-help books, and there'll be just something that clicks and resonates with you that maybe someone else wouldn't. So yeah, it's really good.
Give it a go.
Give it a go. Moving on from that, we will talk about meditation. Whew, love it. I was always a skeptic. By the way, I was also always a skeptic of journaling, and I think you
We
were as
both
well.
were
Yeah,
the biggest skeptics of both journaling and meditation.
yeah. I used to just think everything was like embarrassing.
We thought anyone that did it were just riddies.
Aye,
Like,
absolute.
ugh.
I know that I am already, right? But I'm all right with that now because
Same.
I just think
We both are.
it doesn't exist. It's just
Riddies
yeah.
don't exist.
Reddies don't exist. So I'm all right with that. Like if anybody listening has ever thought that I'm a ready, thank you, because I agree.
Cool.
I definitely am. But yeah, meditation will help you visualize things so clearly. It will also help you if you are someone who has really negative thoughts, if you are someone, your mind gets so cluttered, like imagining your mind is one of those ones that's so busy and it's just full of a million things that you just can't focus. Meditation will change your life. I swear to God. And I know you hear like all these hippies and gurus and everything telling you that. I'm a normal lassie. I'm telling you, it'll change your life.
Literally just doing it for a couple minutes a day.
Oh,
Wake up.
Yep.
There's so much resources out there
For free.
for free. It's like 3 minutes a day.
Yep.
Do that every single morning. It will change your life.
It will. And like Neil, you just said, it can just start with 2-3 minutes and then you can try different methods. Again, with meditation, there's not one size fits all. There's loads of different types out there. I quite like ones that are guided and they talk you through it. I just find that a wee bit easier for me. Just sitting there in silence, listening to chimes and stuff doesn't do it for me. Like, I just can't
I know.
focus on that. And I know that I should, but
It's hard.
it is. It's really, really
It's really
difficult.
hard.
And what I will say about meditation is before I actually really got into it, I thought that you had to stop all thoughts in your mind. You don't. What it actually is you just using meditation is like almost the way you would use reps at the gym for lifting weights. It's every time you see a wee thought, you challenge it, you put it in a wee bubble. That's what usually I like visualize a cloud. I'll put that thought in the cloud, let it drift on by. Do that. That's a rep. So every time that you're controlling a thought, you're getting better at meditation.
I love that.
Oh, was that a wee word of wisdom?
Yes. That's so good.
Honestly, it is. It's a really good way to think about it because I used to be really stressed thinking, I can't meditate because my mind, there's always thoughts, but there's supposed to be always, just like your heart beats, there's always thoughts in your brain.
Because I always think of them as like, they're like my thoughts are floating and they're clouds and just floating away. But thinking of them as like a rep in the gym.
Yep, that's it.
Wow.
And then you are getting better every time you take that and go, whoop.
I love it.
So good.
That's so good.
So yeah, we could also do a full episode on meditation. Love it.
I love that. That's so good.
But the reason we're saying this stuff is obviously to do with your goals and bringing it into the whole visualization thing. And these are just wee side things that can help with that. So moving on, you then need to imagine having that thing already. So again, that kind of moves on from the visualization. And in order to do that, you really need to have a good why.
Why?
So to have a good why, what does that mean? It means what you've done at the start there is you've got all your points written down, very specific. You have said, I am going to run a half marathon. You've got that written down there. And now you need to say why. Why do you want to do it? Start to challenge those goals. So again, like challenging the thoughts. So why do I want to run a half marathon? I want to run it because I'll feel proud of myself. Why will you feel proud? Like really, really break it down so specific again. So that means your why is always going to be there at the front of your mind. For example, when I signed up for a half marathon, my why was I wanted to sort of like prove to myself that I was fit enough and had the mindset to do it, right? So that was my why. And also my why was because I was doing it with Megan. And I thought, right, I kind of like her doing. That's also a really good point. If you are signing up to a goal, do it with someone or find people who are going to support you along the way, because for me, that was life-changing. Starting things like the Wholesome Run Club with Megan, and then that brought in Nelia to the mix because you got even closer to us through coming to that. So that's a whole other thing as well to do with your goals. Like who you surround yourself with and what your environment is like is going to be huge. And I know I'm going off on a tangent here. Because I had that as my why, I would then use that to every day motivate me to go on the run. So again, like that negative visualization of imagining myself showing up to run the half marathon with Megan and then not being able to do it, versus having that positive visualization of the feeling that we would get together when we've completed it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
See what I do you have to be so specific with your whys. Mm-hmm. What I do is I get my journal out when I'm goal setting, and you know when you're a kid and you ask your parents, you're just like, why? For everything.
Yeah.
You're just like, why?
That annoying kid.
Why?
Literally.
So I will write down my goal and then I'll say why and I'll answer myself. And then I'll ask why and I'll answer myself again. Yes. And then I'll keep saying why again and again and again until I physically cannot answer it anymore.
And then that breaks it down.
And that breaks it down.
Yeah, that's good.
So like I'm just that annoying kid.
And I feel like then you realise that you're actually doing it for you, because if a why comes up and it's because of I'm doing it because my mum and dad think I should do it, like, no, that's not
I'm doing it because my partner suggested I should do it. I'm doing it because my pal sent me it. Like, it shouldn't be for anyone else. It should be for you.
Mm-hmm. And there'll be so many points from this along the way where you decide, actually, maybe this isn't for me, and maybe you do want to change what you're doing, because if you're not feeling excited and then when you're doing your whys, things like that start to creep up, you can then reanalyze and be like, okay, perhaps this is not for me.
But that's a good point, because I think people think a lot of the time with when they're goal setting, when they're making their vision boards for the year, that's them locked in.
Yeah, it's fixed, but it's not. Absolutely not.
You can change your goals. I changed my 2024 goals. I changed my vision board 3 or 4 times. My life was changing. It was like morphing into all these different ways. I was going down different paths, and obviously my goals were realigning.
Yeah.
And so
which is great.
It was changing.
Yeah.
But in the past, I would have thought, no, that I have to stick. I made in January a goal.
I said I was going to do
and
this.
I need to stick to it. I'm locked in.
Oh, honestly, but
that's not how it is.
But that's where you're kind of taught it, and it is. It's like, obviously your goals can change, and obviously what you're doing in your life changes constantly. Like we are always changing, so definitely switch it up, because maybe you started off the start of the year saying you were going to be in the cover of Vogue, Nelia, but now you're not about that life. Like, now you're not, by the way, she didn't, but
That was me.
but then obviously you're like, no, because now I value this more. So that's absolutely fine. And also you can change when maybe you meet new people or you get in a new relationship, as long as it's positive, because also we don't want that to be like
You don't want
bringing
to
you
step
down.
back. You want to just step forward, constantly
Yes.
stepping forward.
Yes. And we've kind of touched on this a wee bit. Like, when you start to really get a good why, and when you get really focused on your goals, what you really need to start doing is actually, you will start to notice the toxic people in your life. And you'll start to notice the toxic environments in your life. For example, workplaces are so bad for this. And they are draining. And I get that sometimes you just can't escape it. But it's then learning and getting yourself a good routine of being like, okay, I know these people are bringing me down. I know these people maybe want me to fail. I know these people are just going to... So an example of this could be if you are on like a healthy eating regime, or you're trying to lose weight, and you have, you know, Karen in the office constantly being like, just have a biscuit. You don't need to lose any more weight. Like, one of our pals literally had people in our work like questioning her weight loss journey, and I just think absolutely not. It's just people who are really toxic. They're trying to get in your way, and yeah, you'll start to recognise these things. At the same time,
They were so vocal about it as well.
it's just so rude.
Oh, it was...
Unless people
mad.
are genuinely concerned for your welfare, absolutely not. It's just toxic, and I just feel like workplaces can be bad for that. So I know we can't escape it because we all need money, we all need to live, but maybe get yourself a good routine before work, where maybe you're going for a nice walk and that kind of regulates you, or post work when you're feeling a bit drained. Don't get me wrong, it can be easy to just come home and run into your biscuit cupboard and sit with comfort and a cup of tea. Obviously that's needed sometimes, but try and have all those things that make you feel good. So for me, for example, my old work, I literally felt like I had the life sucked right out of me. Like the things for fucking Harry Potter, what are they called? The Death Eaters.
Death Eaters.
No joke. You know how when like they actually grab your face and suck
Yeah.
the light? That was me. I am not joking. I left and I was like, oh my God, I've not got anything left to give.
The amount of times she would come to Run Club from work and it would just be...
Scunnered.
She was absolutely scunnered.
Oh, but I would show up because that was my goal.
Exactly.
And I had to show up. But my routine would literally be like something like that, like doing something after work that I knew, okay, this is going to perk me right back up. Like going straight to the gym or coming home, meditating. No joke, I would literally come home all the time and just meditate and maybe do a wee bit of yoga, because I just knew, right, that's actually going to bring me back to some level of homeostasis, a wee bit of balance.
You need to, though. You need to have those routines. You need to have those go-tos
Yeah.
that you know will bring you back
Yeah.
to a level that is okay.
Okay.
Because otherwise you'll be in that like fight or flight mode all the time.
Scunnered.
We've both been there.
Oh,
and it is
God.
shite.
It's fucking terrible. And if you're there, I am so sorry, and I'm sure one day it'll get better.
But like
It did for
if you
us.
are there and you're then trying to make all these goals and change your habits, it's like it's impossible
Yeah.
because you can't.
No, I know, and I think that's maybe when you need to start evaluating your environment and things, and perhaps finding like a role model or something to look up to. And let me put that out there, actually, for setting a goal, having a role model who has already achieved what it is that you want to achieve, or having someone who you look up to and go, I would love to live their life. Use that. Like, don't use... I know, like, we kind of get brought up in this toxic environment. We're in, like, school, and it's like people are jealous of each other, and it's that whole bitchy thing. But when you become, like, a healed woman, you can then actually look at people and use that as inspiration. Like,
Yes.
that is such a compliment for someone, right? So, for example, if I was wanting to run, I'm just keep using the half marathon, I would look at people and be like, what have they done? Like, okay, that's exactly what they've done. That's exactly then what I need to do.
Yeah.
What do they do every day? Copy their habits, copy their routines, copy what they're doing, because there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually an amazing thing to have role models.
It's such a compliment to them as well that you're going, oh, what was their journey? How did they do it?
Yeah.
I'm
like,
going to
she's
replicate
smashing
it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So,
like
so
how
good.
how good.
Instead
If someone
of,
did that to us, we'd be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
if anyone's like, oh, I want to start a podcast, how do they do it? Ask us.
Ask us.
We will always
We're
be
open books.
number one supportive gals, like here for
Always.
it. Always, like, definitely like, use role models. Like, that for me was a massive thing. And I would tell those people that. I actually would be like, oh, you are my inspo.
What did I say to you yesterday about role models when we were in school?
Yes.
In school, we had,
By the way.
we were told, like, have role models. Who's your role model? Like, all the time, literally. And now, as an adult, role models, like, all of a sudden, role models don't exist.
Like, but then we develop egos and we develop the wee green-eyed monster, and we've all been there. Like,
crazy.
as much as now we're like, oh, we love that. Let's be honest, maybe in the past, you would. And actually, if there is someone who you're looking at and you're feeling a wee bit envious or you're feeling a wee bit triggered, then maybe think that is something that you want. That's something you're maybe striving for deep down. And that's a lot of deep work. So be prepared for some things to come up that might be a bit uncomfortable. But if you're really serious about goals, that's the sort of work that you actually need to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, Are You Triggered could be a full podcast episode.
It actually will. It will be. I think we need to do it.
Love it. No, because I've been triggered before. You've been triggered before.
Yeah.
And now we're like, nope, it's inspiration. It's role models.
Exactly.
Use it.
100%.
And we're in such a lucky place just now. I know social media gets bad press, but there's a lot of free information out there and there's a lot of inspirational people out there. And actually, that follows on because talking of inspirational people, what we actually want from this podcast is to bring on like normal lassies, normal everyday gals who have a wee inspirational story to tell, normal everyday gals who are maybe like starting their own business or they've grown so much or they've transformed.
Yeah.
Like, love it. So if anyone listening to this is like, oh my God, my best pal would be perfect for that, bloody let us know.
Do it.
That'll be like so good. There's too many like celebrities and stuff who maybe aren't really authentic and stuff. Like, you can kind of see through them a wee bit. And if we wanted to get celebrities on the podcast, we could.
Come on in.
But we don't.
We want normal lassies.
No, we want you who's listening. If you're listening, we want you.
And if you know a pal, like
Aye.
if one of your pals has some like inspirational story,
Our wise words to tell.
words of wisdom,
Yeah.
let us know.
Get them on.
Slide into our DMs.
So let's just quickly go over everything that we've went through to make sure we're not missing anything. So hopefully you've been taking notes. So you should have to be very clear, be very specific, and saying your goals out loud. Whether that's out loud, screaming it down the tune, or saying it out loud by writing it in your journal.
Yeah.
And by the way, actually, remember this, whatever you're writing in your journal is personal to you. Do not let people... like, I used to be so scared to write down serious stuff in my journal because I'd be like, oh no, somebody's going to read that. However, what you need to... I'm howling. What you actually need to think about is, if someone's reading your journal, mate, that's toxic as fuck.
Get rid.
Put them right in the bin. Whether it's your ma, your dad, bin them. They should not be reading your journal. Mm-hmm. That's
Also, especially if that's your partner. Bin.
By the way, no.
That's a trust barrier broken.
How out of order is that? Like, somebody reading your journal?
No. They'd be out the door in the bin.
No. So, lassies,
that's toxic.
That says more about them than you. So if you're worrying about, fuck, they might read my journal. No.
Oh, no. I see when I first started journaling, like really, really early days, I used to lie.
Oh, aye.
I I was
You
not
would.
writing
Of course.
what was going on in my head. I was just writing what I thought I needed to write.
Yeah, because you think it's embarrassing if somebody ever finds that. You're like, oh my God, what if
And
somebody
then slowly
ever...
I was like, what am I doing?
know.
I'm wasting my time writing.
How outrageous would that be, right? If someone said to you, ha ha ha, I read your journal, you would actually just be like, no.
And see, lassies, if someone does, that's on them, and just say, loser.
Yeah, like that's not
Loser,
a vibe.
get out.
We're not about that life.
Know about that.
Unless you actually want to, like, I'm quite happy to share stuff that's in my journal with
Me
people,
and Paula,
yeah.
we'll talk about stuff that's in our journals, but that's
our boundary.
Yeah.
And if you've set that boundary with somebody, that's fine. But let's be honest, most of us want to keep a lot of it to ourselves.
Aye.
Because it's stuff that's in our mind that we just need to get rid of. So, yeah, remember that. So, moving on, we also covered breaking it down, having sections, finding out what your new habits are going to be, and then finding those good whys. So, taking the steps in order to get there, basically. And then starting to imagine already being that person, really getting into your visualizations and really just doing all the things that are going to help you visualize already being there.
stepping into that person.
Yes. And
Be the person already.
feeling the feels. Feel those feels, like really feel excited about being there.
Oh, why?
Love it. And keeping the vibes high. How do we keep the vibes high? So again, it's staying away from those toxic people, trying to get yourself out of those toxic environments.
Get rid of the dead weight.
Just get them dropped right off.
In order for you to rise,
You need
if
to.
you've got that dead weight, it's just going to pull you down.
And they do. Like, they'll hang off you like a big dirty anchor and try and pull you down. And what I will say is, try and surround yourself with people who are going to lift you up. So join Wholesome Run Club, join maybe like nice gym environments, maybe join, I don't know, whatever it is you've got your goal on, try and find other people. And again, the internet is full of like clubs and communities, and you will find your people, especially if you are, putting yourself out there and trying different things.
And I'll say, it is scary cutting the cord of those people and those situations of like dead weight and toxicity. It is scary because you've been with them and around them forever, or like a long, long time. But see, once you've done it, you feel so good, and you feel, because before you do it, you think, I'm going to be so lonely, I'm going to be alone. But once you do it, you just think, I'm free. Yeah, I'm free of it.
Love that. I'm
free.
free.
I can now just achieve everything I want to achieve, because they were holding me back. That was holding me back. And now all those things that I have been writing down and I have been visualizing and I want to achieve, I can now do, because that dead weight is not holding me back.
Oh, bloody love it. Right, hold on. This calls for a wee self-love or something affirmation. Ready?
I am a magnet for love, success, and abundance.
Oh, love it.
And to be fair on that one, using I am a magnet for XYZ, I use that one.
Works a treat. Love that one.
Treat. It doesn't have to be love, success, and abundance. I quite like that one.
So do I.
Because it resonates with me quite a lot. But just using I am a magnet for whatever you want to manifest is so, so good. Journaling, affirming, just whatever you need.
Is. And see, with things as well, like meditation, again, it can feel pretty awkward, like maybe doing it at home and you're worried that someone's going to barge in on you. Can I just say, actually, William done that to me before and I was fucking raging.
Fuck's sake, William.
I was scunnered. I was like, don't come in here, I'm going to meditate.
Of course he did.
And he barges in. It was something so stupid, like, oh, that hangs on Netflix. And I'm like,
oh, for fuck's sake, William.
I was just getting into that. I was like, what are you doing? And I was so angry. But then that called for meditation to like...
yeah, you needed to meditate even more.
I'm like, this is the irony of this fucking situation. Like, honestly, so he's not done that since, because I was like, really, after that, I had to sit him down and be like, please don't ever do that again.
That's not.
No, I'm a fun loving, down to earth, sound chilled lassie, but
limits.
don't come in when I've told you not to come in when I'm doing my meditation.
Do you know what I will say with meditation though? It rings back to what you said at the beginning. If your circumstances don't align, like if you live in a busy house, like I used to live with like 6 other people, and it was that would have been impossible.
Screaming
to meditate.
wains and barking dogs.
Aye. So like it just wouldn't work. So if your circumstances don't align, try and do it in the car. Just do like a wee seated. You can find seated guided meditations. Just do that in the car, or just find something. Go a walk. Do like a walking.
Yes, remember I told you this story about my granddad, and I was like, Nelia, he was like a natural meditator.
Oh my God, he was ahead.
By the way, right, so
Mate,
my granddad,
he was ahead of the times.
He knew, right, and I feel like this is something that our generation has lost. So
it's like Granda from Maryhill, like not even
honestly, like
this week.
Pure
Glasgow
Granda, right, was at the pub all the time, always out with the dog. Every day he went out a massive walk, say 6 hours, right? That was his life. Love it. What a life.
Iconic.
But he literally would say to me all the time, when you're out, you need to really inhale the air through your lungs and hold your breath and then just let it go. And he would say that he walked about doing that all day, every day.
He'd say like, I'm just filling my lungs.
Filling my lungs up. By the way,
he was doing breath work before breath work was a thing.
Donald the inspo, like honestly, how amazing is that? Because
that's amazing.
He actually has never had to sit down the way we've done and read 100 self-help books. Like he was just someone who was born in a different generation, like not bombarded with social media, not bombarded with phones, not bombarded with everything. So they actually had times as well. Like, so I think about your granny and granddad, they would have had times after their work where they would just come and sit and do nothing.
And self-regulate.
Yeah. When have we ever done that? When do you just come and sit and do fuck all?
I know.
Never. Like, even if I'm doing fuck all, I'm doing something.
I know. We're constantly stimulated, constantly stimulated with like phones, TV.
Yep. And no wonder I always get overstimulated. By the way, anyone who knows me will know that I get overstimulated and I get socially exhausted. And everybody knows. No, it's so funny because Stacey's like that to me. Stacey will be like, are you in a mood to talk today? And I'm like, no, hen, I'm drained from head to toe. And I think like I'm very sociable and I'm very extroverted, I would say.
Yeah.
But why? I need that
she does.
time.
She has her moments.
Just like that. Everyone stay away and don't speak to me. But maybe that's me, like.
We do have to see in our group chat, we do have to our message just being like, go do a meditation, go do some yoga. And literally 20 minutes later, be like, wow.
I feel so much better.
But you do the same with me.
Imagine that.
We'd literally like, oh,
like we
God.
actually say that to each other all the time.
I feel so much better. And we are yoga teachers.
Yeah.
Meditation coach, wellness coaches, meditation coaches. And like, we forget.
More than anyone, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like you get more socially exhausted when you are a teacher or a coach, I think.
Because we're giving it to other people.
So much energy away, which I love, by the way. Don't think that
it's the best job in the world.
Oh, so grateful for it every day. Like, so thank you so much. But yeah, I really do need that time sometimes, like to myself after it. Like,
but that's why we're here for each other, because we have to remind each other.
Like, so remember even last weekend when you were like, right, you coming out? And I was like, right, give me one more day to decide. To see if I can bring myself back to like a neutral level. And I did. Oh God.
She did come out. She had a good time.
Yeah. So listen, lassies, we are all fucking just winging it and no one's got their shit figured out. Even people who are meditation and yoga queens, we've not even got our shit figured out.
No.
Absolutely
Hell
not.
No.
Absolutely not. And we've actually got a nice wee night tonight. We've got a wee charity night at Prosper that we're going to just bring together. I'm saying we, you're like, I'm coming to the event. Nelia is coming. I'm
taking
arranging
content though.
Yes, she's going to be the content queen.
Content queen.
At Prosper, a nice wee charity event, bringing all the wee wellness gals together. So looking forward to that.
Can we put the charity link?
Oh, we could. That'd be nice. It's for Women's Aid.
Yeah, can we do that?
Oh, maybe we could do that. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, what a nice idea.
Let's do that.
This is why Nelia's the nicest person you'll ever meet in your life.
So donate to Women's Aid. It's for a good cause. Stunning.
That's so nice. And that's quite a nice way to to end, I
Gals
suppose.
support gals.
And what we will always say at the start and the end of episodes is please, please, please give us a message at any time if there's something that maybe you're wanting a wee bit of advice on, or if you've heard something in this and you're like, okay, I maybe need a wee bit more info on that. We are open books.
Our DMs are always open, whether it's on our personal pages or like whether it's on You by Paula, Transform by Nelia, or the Transform You podcast page.
Yeah.
Please just message us because we will always respond.
We'll always be your besties.
We love it when people get in touch
So
with us.
good.
It just makes our day,
But
doesn't
even
it?
just now, I'm like, oh, it's so nice all the wee messages we've
I
had.
know.
I mean, if I'm obviously socially exhausted, Paula, and, you know, needing a wee bit of time to myself, I will always still get back to you, even if it's like one day later.
Also, can I just say thank you to everyone that has
Oh
commented on Spotify
God,
and
I know.
like rated us 5 stars. Oh, I was actually greeting last night
I know.
because the comments are
Unreal.
just the most stunning.
And people
They're
are
unreal.
so kind and so lovely. Like, see the comments we've had and people sharing. I'm like, oh,
The support
my
is
heart.
unreal.
I know.
We are
Oh.
feeling so much love. I can't even believe it's real. It doesn't feel real.
No, but it is. And it's just,
We're
thank you. Like,
so grateful.
yeah, I wish we could like let you know how much. I'm sure one day we will, but yeah, we really, really are. So thank you. And if you haven't already, what?
It's happening again.
Oh, Once a Wisdom is coming back.
It's happening again.
If you have not already subscribed,
There she
please
goes.
subscribe. Give us a rating. Please give us any feedback, or if you want to know when the episodes are out, you'll be first to know if you follow us on Spotify. Obviously, we'll always put it on Instagram, but all that stuff apparently helps. I mean, we're just new to the podcast game, but apparently subscribing, liking, all that shit helps
Please.
us.
Help us out. And share with your pals.
Yes. Yeah.
Aye. Share with your lassies.
Love it.
Share the love.
We'll do a wee outro. Again, we've
Aye.
got this nice fancy machine, so we're just
We're
learning
winging
how
it.
to work it. Let's go. Thank you, guys.
Love you.
Love you.